Hi girls, this is the intro to palm video. So first we're going to start out with how do you hold your hands. You're going to take your hand, curl your fingers in, and put your thumb on top. Whoops. This is called the big E. Some people call it cinnamon roll, swirl, whatever you want to call it. This is the big side. This is the little E. So I'm going to call them E's. Big E, little E. What you don't want to do with your hand is you don't want to do clicker finger like you're flipping channels, and you don't want to tuck your thumb in. You always want to curl the fingers in and the thumb goes around. So this is any motion that you would do without a pom-pom. With your pom-poms, you always want to make sure that you're grabbing the actual plastic bar and not getting any of the little frilly thingies in there. So you want to part the palms and only grab onto that, okay? So big E, little E. The next thing is, what do you do with your feet? So with your feet in palm, and just for basic jazz, you want your feet to be parallel. So never, ever, ever, ever turn your feet in. Your toes should never be touching each other and your heels be out on the sides. The other thing is you can turn your toes out a little bit. If you have dance experience, this is something that you would do in ballet, and I know a lot of people see, girls with their feet turned out, things like that. But for palm and the basic jazz moves that I'll go over, parallel. So feet are always pointing straight forward. So we've got feet together and then our feet apart. This can sometimes be a confusing thing. I don't know why. When your feet are apart, there needs to be some distance between your feet. So for instance, together they need to be touching. So touching. When they're apart, they need to be wider than your shoulders, okay? And toes always pointing forward. So sometimes I see girls that have feet that it's hard to tell if they're supposed to be together, if they're supposed to be apart. When I was judging dances and also doing choreography, things like that, that's one of the big things I point out. Are their feet supposed to be together? Are their feet supposed to be apart? When the judges are viewing this from real high up, they notice. So make sure that if you're supposed to have your feet apart, they are very apart. If you're supposed to have your feet together, your ankles are touching. And always toes forward. So we've learned what we're doing with our hands. We've learned what we're doing with our feet. Now we're going to do the basic palm motions. So the first motion that everybody wants to do is high V. What you're going to do is you're going to have your hands and your E's. Big E's are facing the front. Your wrists are straight. Don't do what the cheerleaders do. They're wrong. Just heads up. So no bent wrists. Ever. Never, ever, ever, ever bent wrists. Wrists must be straight. None of this. None of this. Just straight. The other thing with any palm motion is that people don't notice that you're actually in front of your body. Your palm motions do not go back here. That is no. And then they're not straight on. They're actually in front of you. This helps you keep your posture. This helps the judges see your palms. Don't ever put your hands way back here. It ruins the line of your body. So you always want to be straight up and down, no sway backs, no punching over, straight up and your hands in front. Big E's out. Same with a low V. It's right down here. You don't want to be too close to your body because it's similar to the feet thing. You don't want to be confused between two motions. So a high V is a very Christmas tree-like shape. Low V. Low V, high V. One term that you'll hear over and over is breaking or cleaning. So to break through a motion, if I'm going to go from a high V to a low V, I would break and bend my arms to come down. If you're going to do something with if you're gonna clean or do something without that, you just go straight there. I rarely break in between things, so most of my motions that I'll do in my choreography are just gonna go straight from one to the next. Always tension in your arms. So if someone were to come up to you at any point during your routine and push on your arms, they stay up. So one thing that we always did when I was coaching was we would hold a T and I would sneak up from behind you and push down your arms to see what kind of tension you have. Always strong, strong arms. No noodly. Okay, sorry. So we've done high V, which is in front of you. We've done low V, also in front of you. The next big motion, T's. Same rule applies. It is actually in front of you. Your big E's are out, and you are straight out from your shoulder. So this motion can be hard when you don't have a mirror when you're in the gym. So rely on what your coaches say, what your teammates say, and like I said in the intro video, spatial awareness. Know where your body parts are in space. This is a T. So watch out where you're going. This is the worst one that people really want to do this wing flapping thing with. I don't know why. Everyone wants to do this. Don't. Watch it. It's in front of you. Just like the high V, just like the low V, every motion's right in front of you. A broken T is just that. You break, which means bending the elbows into a T. Your little or your big E's are right in front of your boobs. That's exactly where they go. And if you're having trouble with your T, put in a broken T, keep your elbows exactly where they are, and just extend your arms. You'll never have the problem going back here unless you're doing some sort of chicken wing thing. Okay? So we've got T, broken T. The next move we'll do is a touchdown. Touchdown is straight up and down. Your arms should be touching your head. We see a lot of this. Then it gets confusing, like I said before, if you're in this twilight zone of are you in a high V, are you in a touchdown? So touchdowns, straight by your arms. It is slightly in front of you, as you can see, only because it's almost nearly impossible to put your hands like literally straight up and down. Low touchdown. You want to do like you've got cleavage, okay? And your big E's are facing out. Little E's, big E's come straight down. So this is still in front of you. Here's your V. So you want to make sure that there's a distinct space between these two. So we've got high V, low V, T, broken T, touchdown, low touchdown. So to break, as I mentioned earlier, which is bending your elbow between motions, say I was going to break between a high touchdown and a low touchdown, I would come like this. So I'm breaking between my motions, but always tension in the arms. This motion, this motion here is daggers. So it's very much like how it sounds. Your little E's are going to be facing out. Your elbows are tucked in, and it's like you've got daggers. Daggers. You stick it straight out in front of you, and again, watch where your arms are in space. It's straight out from the shoulder. Candlesticks, that's with your big E's on top. Just like you'd be holding candlesticks. Switch it to buckets like you're holding a bucket. They're same exact thing, but when you have your pom-poms, they're not perfectly round. So you'll be able to tell if someone is doing candlesticks or someone is doing buckets. This is a real nitpicky thing. Judges will tear you up on it, so just be careful. And where is that in space? You know, we want it straight out from the shoulder, always tension in your arms. I got a couple more motions to go through, and then some strategies on how to practice motions. So a Cheerio is your hand, you're going to make a big beach ball, and your left hand grabs your right wrist. It can be down here, it can be up here, A lot of the time you'll see people doing these kind of circular motions like that. Again, strength. If you've got your two palms, you're kind of still able to actually grab your wrist. Practice that motion with your palms definitely a zillion times before you would do it in a routine, but you can still grab your wrist a little bit with your palms in your hand. So that's a Cheerio, low Cheerio. The last motion is the most complicated. It's K. So a left K, your left hand is going to be in a high V. Your right hand is going to be in a low V, but it's crossing your body. You're going to step out with your right foot. Your right arm is going to go across in the low V, and it's a high V. It makes a K. You can switch it, do the same one. So this is, like I said, one of the hardest motions because it's angled. There's a lot of things going on with your legs, with your hands. If you are going to be doing the K, it's usually a lunge. Like I said, your feet are parallel, so they're going to be facing the wall, both of the feet. Low V, high V, K. Switching it, K. My feet are facing the wall. This is breaking between. This is just going straight. I guess one motion that I didn't really think of until I was making this is the diagonal. Most likely, I won't be doing much with the diagonal because it's very difficult to keep that line, but that's something you can practice in front of the mirror, the diagonal. This is in a high V, this is in a low V. It is in front of your body, but it's, my screensaver, sorry. But it is a straight line from how you view it in the front. See how it's in front of me? So this is something that you can do in front of the mirror. You could break between these, something like that. The last and final motion, I wouldn't even say it's really a motion, is a clean. So whatever you're doing, arms going crazy, you're doing peel-offs, whatever, and you clean. This is a clean. That's all you do. Hands straight down to your side, feet straight together, just standing like a soldier. That's a clean. So you could be doing clean. Usually you do a small break into a clean. If maybe say you were here and you just cleaned. It depends on the choreography, but just be aware you'll be cleaning pretty much all the time. So tension in the arms, watch where the E's are going, no bent wrists ever. We have actually had to tape rulers to people's wrists a few times just to teach them to keep their wrists straight. But practice, 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 practice in front of the mirror, practice in front of each other. Once you have the motions down, you want to start doing it to music. So making up combinations. So, you know, just small snippets of dances that you can practice to get used to moving your feet, moving your hands, hitting the motions, doing it together as a group. An easy way to practice the motions is drill style. So Jessica would stand in front of you girls, you'd be all in a line or, you know, wherever on the floor, and she'll just call out T, broken T, candlesticks, clean, touchdown, whatever, and everyone has to go and do the motions and hold them as long as she says, till she says the next one, being very strong, tension in the arms the entire time, no bent wrists, watching what your feet are doing. Like I said, practice, practice, practice. It is muscle memory. I know it's very overwhelming today to watch all of the different motions, but there's really not that many. I mean, there's, what, 10 motions? So I know you guys can do it, and just keep practicing. Practice with and without pom-poms. You'd be surprised how much weight the palms add. They don't feel like they weigh a lot, but they will after you've been holding tension in your arms for 2 straight minutes during your dance. So make sure that on a semi-regular basis you're practicing with your pom-poms as well. So in the next video I'll be doing your intro to jazz motions. This is going to be a really, really hard one, especially for our beginners. So I'll definitely be sending my sister out to help with that as well. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me.